afford to have any liberals running around loose in this country. I mean, the liberal media establishment has failed us. And I mean, why they failed us? Because again, what's happening is the Johnny Rangel is now being indicted 13 counts of fraud, also embezzling money, also trying to get the lobbyists to go with influence by these big super PACs who are influenced by Comcast, DirecTV, Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, and GE, General Electric, and George Soros is the guy funding this nonsense to these super PACs, to these lobbyists, and they're telling the companies who you need to vote for and why you should vote for them and why you should get behind them and spend the money. I mean, look at what's happening right now with Apple. Apple, great example. The Apple company wants you to endorse Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton, but not Trump. However, what's going on with Albertsons or Safeway? They want you to go with Hillary. So Albertsons and Safeway, they both want to go with Hillary because they're the unions. However, you have a split between AT&T and DirecTV, and they're going both sides with Trump or Hillary right now, both of them, and they're both getting money from these super PACs of these delegates who are supporting the candidates for doing this. And this is called violation fraud. If this is not violation fraud, I don't know what is. And now you got Mitch McConnell, you have John McCain, you have Lindsey Graham, you got Harry Reid, Dianne Feinstein, Johnny Rangel, you have Nancy Pelosi. These liberals don't care about the American people. It's not about the American people. It's about how much money we can get from the delegates so we can influence by the product that we actually buy and sell, so we can actually force feed it to the American people, even though they don't want it. They're giving them lousy service, but they don't care because they got a monopoly.
Well, Apple has pulled out of the convention because of Trump.
Yeah.
They will not help finance the convention because of Trump, because they do not want him as president.
But they're backing behind Hillary, though. It's interesting. Or Bernie Sanders. It's interesting.
Well, Bernie Sanders is out. He dropped out.
No, Bernie Sanders is going to go. He's going to have the challenge conventions like we're going to have too for Ted Cruz challenge convention.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to have two challenge conventions going on between. Even though he dropped out, he's suspending his campaign. He's still fighting, and that's exactly what Bernie Sanders is doing. He said, "I'm going back to challenge, going into a challenge convention because what Hillary's done has corrupted this country, and she should have been in jail months ago." I mean, Condoleezza Rice, he even said, Condoleezza Rice, what Condoleezza Rice has done, Condoleezza Rice did half the stuff that Hillary did. Half what Hillary has done. She'd be in jail already a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
He's right about that.
Basically, she has blood on her hands. She's the one that committed murder because she knew what was going to happen. She probably set it up.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I don't like Bernie Sanders, but the guy's actually got some good. He made some good points, though. He's got some good points out there. He really does. The guy's got good points, and that's why this is what we do here. We bring people that need to be on the air. Number one, number two, talk about the issues that matter to them, and expose it without the fear of being attacked. And the networks can't do that anymore. They can't do that anymore. They can't. The only thing they can do is now attack you. That's all they know how to do, or try to censor you, or say, or give you a Look what what's the word I'm looking for? It's a black mark against you. You know, they're trying to do that now,
Right.
and it it's just it's just outrageous of what is happening to this country. It's not what this country stands for. This country stands for freedom, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And the liberals can't stand to have a nation under God or a nation of a free nation, the greatest on God's green earth. These liberals do not like it. The liberals want you to have you be controlled by the government, not we, the individual people who actually are in who are in the free market system. They want you to depend on the unions to do that, and that's why the European Union, the EU, European Union has broke ties with Parliament. This is what happened. Parliament said, "The hell with you, the heck with you guys. We're done here. Enough is enough. It's time for us to get back to what we gotta do and give it back to the power back to the people." First time in 200 years. You see, they got it right. We need to learn from them. You see, our from people in Congress, our people in the Senate, our legislatures need to go back and actually serve the people again. And that's what happened in Parliament. If you don't see it now, we're going to miss it, and we're going to be doomed to repeat another revolution here in this country. And yeah, I want to have another revolution, but you know what? If it happens, it happens. It's because they did it. It was our own government did this against the American people. We take back arms. This is what we did at King George. What did King George do? He tried to bring back his socialist agenda to this country. Taxes. This is why we had a Boston Tea Party. Not just it was not just throwing tea overboard. It's about the taxes that was being burdened by the goods that the British Parliament was trying to sell us to. And this is why we rose up against it, because the taxation without representation. This is what we did. This is what we had to do. And it's time to do it again. The Parliament can do this to the union, then we can do this to Planned Parenthood. Cut them off, cut off the IRS completely, shut them down, abolish it. That's what Ted Cruz wants to do. He wants to abolish the IRS completely. I don't hear Trump saying this. Trump never said he wants to abolish the IRS. He said, "I want to keep things the way they are." He said Obamacare will be replaced by Trump care. Well, that's really good. And you got Hillary care. So the worst of three evils. The worst of three evils, and the news media is force feeding this to us, which is evil in itself. And that's time for this Q13 News, Power 7 News, ABC4, Como 4 News, Cave Owl News, KTLA. We're putting them on notice right now. You have to pay for this network because that's our plug we just gave you. We gave you a free plug, and people need to watch what you're saying, because this is why we are changing the curve around. We're changing where you got their broken road. We got a nice path, street for the people to drive on now, not a broken down buggy old road. We don't need this anymore. We don't need a bumpy old road. We need a nice paved road for people to drive on, so it can go right through it without any problems or any hassles, without being the fear of you having a person be broken down. And that's what the news media does all the time. They break people down. We don't do that here.